Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're with me for the first time, my name's Melissa Reed and I'm a mixed media artist. So in front of me today, you see I have a 9" by 12" cradled panel. I will have links to everything that I'm using in this video today in the description for you if you're interested. And I went ahead and primed that with gesso. What I'm going to do is a mixed media collage, which it's typically what I always do. I made some of these collage papers from leaves that I found when I was walking the other day, and I am going to take you through and show you how I did a few of them, not every single one, but I will do a little selection for you. But I ended up with all of these really pretty leaf collage papers, and we're going to use them in this video. So just to start off, I had an idea in my head for this one, how it was going to look, which I don't typically do. I'm typically an intuitive artist and I go from there. And I'll tell you what, that did actually win out in the end because the piece that I made did not match up to the piece in my mind at all. Completely different direction, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. So for right now, I'm going to take you in and show you how I made some of those collage papers. So in front of me there, I have my 8" by 10" Jelly Arts gel plate and some leaves that I collected on a walk. I just went ahead and removed those from their stem because I'm going to print them all individually. I don't know at this point what colors I want to use, but I know a couple of color ranges, so I'm doing a variety of paints on my plate. I believe there's like a Prussian blue, a light blue, gold, and something else I can't remember. I'll have to double check. And then I'm just spreading that out, laying down my leaves, and I'm taking a sheet of copy paper just to pick up the excess paint there. And that actually turned out kind of interesting itself. I don't think I ended up using it in this piece, but I'll keep it because I might use it for something in the future. And I'm just lifting those leaves off of there, and you can see the imprint of the leaf left on the plate. So I let those paints dry completely, and now I'm rolling some colors on over top of them. And again, I'm not exactly sure what I want, so I'm using the same colors that I used to pick up the prints, but I did them in reverse so that they show up, you know, as a background. And just using some regular tissue paper to pull the print, and that pretty subtle leaf paper is what we ended up with. So I'm going to go ahead and make another one here. Again, just kind of trying to decide what colors to use on the fly as I go. And that was titanium white that I laid down. Again, just placing the leaves. I'm going to pick up that extra white paint with a sheet of copy paper. And just do the same process all over again using different colors. Now I did hit that a little bit with a hairdryer there to speed up the process. You can just let it air dry if you want, but I was impatient, and so I always like to kind of push mine along a little further. I believe that was alizarin crimson, high flow acrylic golden brand that I put down on the bottom, and then on the top I am using pale olive in the Grumbacher brand. And I put 2 sheets of paper down there, again speeding my process along with a hairdryer just a little bit. And here's what I ended up with. I love doing the nature prints. They're really beautiful and delicate looking, and you have seen me use them in several of my pieces, and I can't imagine not using them because, I mean, just look how pretty they turn out. There's so many different possibilities with color combinations that it's really kind of endless. So now I'm ready to start putting a background in. I just have a shop towel sitting underneath there because I'm intending to use a good bit of water and ink on here and to get it moving around really well, and it's going to be messy, so I like to have something there to absorb my mess. I've got, I believe that is transparent raw sienna and Liquitex turquoise along with Liquitex Prussian blue. I got those spreading out on their own a little bit, and then I moved them around loosely with a brush, and also I'm adding more water. Excuse me, I want to keep this flowing as much as possible. That was Titan Buff in Golden High Flow. And then I decided to try to add a little bit of raw sienna fluid acrylic paint, but it was not anywhere near as fluid as I wanted it to be, so I end up just kind of brushing it out there to blend it in. But I'm letting these colors kind of melt together and flow and do what they're going to do without a whole lot of input from me, other than maybe adding some more ink here and there until I'm happy with what's going on, and then I'm going to let that dry. So I did let that dry completely, and that's where we're at right here. And I added a little Prussian blue paint. That's Amsterdam's Prussian blue, because I wanted that bottom half to be a little darker. Now I'm going to start my collage. So I have some coffee, I think those were coffee stained papers that I'm using there that I made once upon a time and haven't used up yet. And I'm randomly placing those on my board with some of my Liquitex Matte medium. You can kind of see the theme of colors already building. That coffee stained paper goes along with the raw sienna in the background, and I will be adding some more blues to this to just make this really pretty blue and brown combination. I'm also using bits and pieces from the leaf papers that I made that don't have leaves on them, just to add to make a little bit more of an interesting color combination. Then I decided to go in with plain tissue paper, because this is something that you can do to mute the background a little bit if you have certain areas that you want to kind of calm down. It's also a good way to unify an area, because you can see I put that paper over top of some of the elements going on the board, and it instantly unifies them and makes them more cohesive and make a little more visual sense. Another thing that it does is create more tones, because it's turning the colors underneath it a little bit lighter, because it's not completely transparent, so you have that translucency that is changing the tone of what's going on underneath it. So just by using the plain tissue paper, you're achieving a lot of different things, and it's really just kind of a pretty way to soften and diffuse some what might be harsh edges or harsh colors or things going on in the background. So this already is looking nothing like what I had pictured in my head, and that's okay, because I could still make that other piece sometime if I want to, but I don't have to, because clearly this is the one that wanted to be made. So I know that sounds a little kooky probably to some of you, but as an intuitive artist, there is a constant conversation going on between me and the work itself. And, I don't always get to impose my will on it, because let me tell you, the times that I have, and I've pushed through anyway on an idea that I haven't always loved the outcome. But every time that I just kind of played it by ear and went with what was going on in the moment and let each move dictate the next, that's when I really turned out some pieces that I was really happy with. So something you might want to try if you find yourself having some problems is just really letting go and not planning, and sometimes you'll really surprise yourself. But you can see how all of these colors are playing nicely together. There's all the different blues, and the blue and the sienna together make different shades of green. And all of that that's going on underneath doesn't exactly match, but definitely goes along really well with what's on those leaf printed sheets. Now this is a paper that I made, I believe I used Titan Buff and some Golden Brand burnt sienna. Again, I will have a complete list in the description. I've tried to keep a list of things as I'm using them, but it interrupts the flow of making the piece, so I'd much rather just go back and see what I've left out on my workspace and give you a list at the end. But I made that paper, that's tissue paper, and I spread those inks out with some water and let it dry, and that's how I made that paper. I have several videos showing how I make that style. I kind of have been calling them turtle shell papers, and that's what this is here. I thought that color combination would work really well with the teals that I have going on there, and it does, and I'm really happy with the choice that I made with that. But I'm just gluing those down randomly, but not randomly. You can see me auditioning placements for those, and some places work better than others. What I'm thinking about a little bit here is composition, not in a traditional sense, but the colors and negative space themselves have kind of become the composition. So when you've got papers that are different, contrasting in lightness or darkness, that can actually become a compositional element just as easily as an object can. And that's how it kind of works in some, non-representational, or what a lot of people refer to as abstract art. I refer to it as that myself, even though that's technically not the correct term. Abstract is an object that has an image that has been abstracted. Non-representational is the more correct way to say it, but I think everybody knows what I mean when I say it that way. So I'm just going along until I'm happy with the amount of collage that I've got on the back there. And I'm starting to think about what I want to do with the space on the right-hand side. Because while the negative space has become an element of composition, I want something there. And I remembered I had these very large leaf prints that I made a couple of years ago. I can put links to other projects that I did with these for you at the, I'll put those on my end screen tiles. So I love the way that looks, but I printed it in black at the time. If I was going to do it specifically for this piece, I probably would have picked Prussian blue or something a little, something that was already in the background so that it went a little bit better. But I'm going to show you how I dealt with that visual problem here in just a second as soon as I get it glued down. So that tends to kind of sink a little too far into the background as well. And then there's the issue of the black paint where there is not black paint anywhere else. So while that was still wet with the medium on there, I got some of the turquoise ink and also some of the brown, and I'm just going along right inside the glued down leaf, making sure everything is covered, first of all. I'm just using one of my old brushes for that. And while that paint's wet, if you go outside of the lines there, you can still wipe it off. And I have a rigger brush there, which is just a thin liner brush to do the stem. Lifting up excess. I like the way it looks, but I decided I want to play a little bit with dimensions. So I added some more of the brown, and I'm going into the recesses of where the veining is on the leaf and just adding a little idea of some depth and shadow. Then I decided that I wanted to take it around the whole entire edge just to accentuate that image and bring it forward a little bit from everything that's going on in the background. And at this point, I love the direction that it's going. I think it's absolutely beautiful how it's all coming together, but I also feel like it could use one more element. And I don't know if you can tell, but I used that copper paint down on those leaves, the 3 leaves on the bottom right, and I decided that I want to take that copper and bring it up into the large leaf. Well, first I'm going to actually take my color shaper and just gently scrape it along the top ridges of that crinkled paper that I have there on the gold, just so that there's some shimmer to those high points of the paper. And then I'm taking the color shaper and using it to paint. And I'm taking it along all of the veining in the leaf, and then I'm going to also take it down the stem. And at the very end, I decided that I wanted to do an an outline of the whole leaf in that copper as well. So this is my favorite copper paint. It's an Artist Loft level 3 brand that I got on clearance, which means, of course, they discontinued it, and I love it. So if anyone has a recommendation for metallics that you love, a brand, I would love to hear it, because this stuff is my favorite, and I think I might have one tube of it left, but I'm terrified of running out of it because it's so pretty, and I love the concentration of color. So suggestions would be welcomed, very much so. But hey, while I'm finishing up here, I just wanted to thank you all so much for everyone who has been watching and liking and hyping and subscribing, doing all of the things. You're helping me out so much, and if you like this one and wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up and hyping it out to more people, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to Dawn of the Day for a 3 coffees bought on my Buy Me a Coffee fundraising app. Thank you so much. If anyone else is interested, there are details in the description on how to do that, but Dawn has been with me from the beginning, and I appreciate you so very much. Also, just wanted to mention that I'm going to be holding a 4th of July sale over the holiday weekend. That is going to be on my Etsy shop, and it will be from Friday, July 3rd to Sunday, July 5th, and everything will be 25% off site-wide, so check that out. All right, just a few more finishing touches here, and then I'm going to edge everything with black paint, and I'll be back to show you the finished product. All right, and this is what it looks like all finished up. I am so happy with the way it turned out, even though it is not what I set out to do. And you know, art can be like that sometimes. It's kind of all about rolling with the punches and seeing what happens, and sometimes surprising yourself in the end when you put forth something that you weren't even imagining in your mind. I love that element of intuitive art, and it's what keeps me coming back every week. But thank you all for coming back every week, and I look forward to seeing you back here again next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time for another video. Take care.